So guys, welcome back to another episode of From Season 4. So without wasting our time, let's start Episode 8 Recap. Episode 8 begins a colony house where Boyd and Donna check Robert's body, relieved that he's finally dead this time. They discover Elgin killed him, which sparks massive panic among the residents. Everyone starts saying they aren't safe and shouldn't stay in Colony House anymore, while Sophia quietly listens from behind. Later, Sophia asks Boyd if the totems they planned yesterday actually worked, but Boyd admits they completely failed. After this, Ellis takes Boyd and Donna to speak with Fatima. Fatima explains how she was able to control Smiley, feeling his presence as if he were right there inside of Smiley. Fatima explains that when she connected with Smiley, she felt something strange inside her. She then shows her stomach, which is now covered in mysterious marks. Honestly, an online leak claimed that by episode 10, Fatima would either transform into a monster or gain their powers. I initially dismissed it as a fake rumor, but seeing this makes it look like it's actually happening. Next, we see Ethan drawing paintings of everyone. He explains that just like it happened with Victor, Victor told him that drawings remember people, so he is painting to keep their memories alive. Then, Jade explains to Boyd how to get inside the tunnels using a complete model he has built. However, the main problem is that there is only one path to reach the chamber where the children's bones are located. If the monsters block that entrance from the outside, they will all die. Boyd mentions that the monsters are incredibly smart. They want them to go inside, and once they enter, they will block it. Therefore, Boyd says they need a completely different plan. After that, Kenny comes outside and tries to talk to Boyd, but Boyd suddenly hears the sound of gunshots fired by his wife, Abby. Since no one is there, he walks away. Next, we see Robert's body being burned. Tabitha and Ethan arrive, and Sophia watches them, waving at Ethan. Tabitha has actually brought Ethan to Victor, asking him to reassure Ethan that he won't be left alone. She wants Victor to say he only spoke casually because Ethan is terrified. However, Victor refuses, stating he can't say that because it is exactly what happened last time. Ethan asks Victor to teach him how to survive alone here, and Victor agrees, promising to help him. After that, we cut to the clinic where Christy and Moriel are examining again using the sonographic equipment. They state that while they don't see any visible damage right now, they can't be entirely certain. They explain that anywhere else in the world, this might just be a minor issue, but since they are currently in Fromville, they cannot guarantee anything for sure. Then, Fatima shares a strange idea. She reminds them that during the autopsy, when they cut the monster's body, the inside looked exactly like a human. She worries if she is turning into one of those creatures herself. So guys, according to episode 10, Leaks and Spoilers, Fatima will likely transform into a monster and eventually help the townspeople. I will make a dedicated video on this later, but for now, let's continue. Ellis reassures her, saying she isn't turning into a monster, and asks if this condition can be stopped. However, Christy argues that since they don't even know what this is, they have no way of stopping it. Marielle suggests it might not necessarily be a bad thing because she saved Kenny's life, meaning if it grows, she might gain more power to control it. This makes Ellis angry, and he points out that she is already in a lot of pain. Christy then tells Fatima to bring her belongings and stay at the clinic for a few days so they can monitor her closely. Meanwhile, Jade tells Kenny that he must convince Boyd to allow them into the tunnels, adding that Boyd needs to realize that anyone who enters might never return. Kenny refuses to do it, but Jade insists he has to. Kenny then confronts him, asking if Jade himself is ready to go into the tunnels to retrieve the bones. This completely silences Jade, as he isn't willing to risk going down there either. Later, Boyd goes to speak with Christy, asking her for medication to make his hallucinations go away. However, Christy clearly tells him that no such medicine exists and there is absolutely nothing they can do about it. Following this, we see Sophia heading to the station. She retrieves her yellow coat from there and goes to meet Sarah. Sarah suggests she should finally change her clothes, pointing out she has worn the exact same outfit since arriving, but Sophia completely refuses. This implies that her mysterious powers might be connected to her clothes, meaning if she changes them, she could transform. After that, Henry helps out in the kitchen because he wants to distract his mind from all these things. Suddenly, he gets another vision where Victor is present, along with Victor's son, who is Henry's grandson. This vision makes him believe he has fallen back into a coma. As soon as this vision hits him, he immediately walks away. Next, Ellis packs his clothes and announces he will stay with Fatima. Right then, Fatima tells him that when Marielle mentioned controlling the monster, it really struck her. She realized that if she truly gained such powers, it would be a massive advantage for them because they could finally use those abilities. But Ellis rejects the idea, saying there is absolutely no need for that. Fatima interrupts him, arguing that neither of them knows where these powers will lead, so they shouldn't just stay defensive. She explains she doesn't want them to be trapped in this place forever. Next, an argument breaks out between Marielle and Christy. Christy tells Marielle she shouldn't have said those things to Fatima, demanding that she must consult her first before speaking to Fatima again. Meanwhile, Jade tries to figure out an alternative path. He suddenly remembers looking up inside the tunnel and seeing light coming from an open section, proving an alternate route exists where they could directly climb down using ropes. Later, Boyd returns to his room and notices the yellow suit has completely vanished. Kenny arrives, but before Boyd can explain, Jade rushes in announcing he found another way, causing them to completely forget about the missing suit. Then, we see Sophia entering Ethan's house, where she starts collecting all his paintings. Next, Tabitha tells Victor she is getting memories and knows Miranda tried incredibly hard to get him out. While Miranda didn't have the answers back then, Tabitha reassures him that they do now, meaning they will finally escape, so he shouldn't worry. After this, Jade takes Boyd to the bottle tree. Jade explains this tree wasn't here before. Only roots existed which grew into this tree, meaning they are standing directly above the bones. He states they must pull the tree out and go down to retrieve them. Suddenly, Kenny gets shot out of nowhere and collapses. Boyd tries to stop his bleeding, but looks beside him and sees Jade lying there, also shot, along with Tabitha. At this point, I realize this entire sequence is actually happening in Boyd's vision. He stands up and screams, and right then, he sees his wife Abby with blood pouring out of her mouth. Next, we see Henry going to Miranda's grave and her daughter Eloise's grave. He tries to talk to them there, saying he feels like he's in a coma and wants to return so his eyes can finally open, allowing him to live with his son and grandson. Then, he starts experiencing visions again, hearing hospital sounds, and sees Victor sitting right in front of Henry along with his own grandson. After that, in the vision, a doctor tells him that an anchor is keeping him trapped there, and he needs to eliminate that anchor to escape that reality and return. She basically tells him that he needs to kill Victor. Next, Fatima asks Marielle if what she said is actually possible, and Marielle confirms it is. Just then, Christy takes her outside, pointing out that her heart is beating 19 times per second, and her blood pressure is up by 93 points, which is impossible for a human, meaning her body is undergoing changes. Afterward, Ethan and Victor leave to speak with Donna, while Tabitha tells them to go ahead, promising to join later before heading inside the house. As soon as she enters the house, the phone rings. She answers it, and Thomas is on the line, warning her to come to the RV immediately, or else he will hurt Julie and Ethan. Next, we see Boyd, who starts hallucinating Father Khatri again. Father Khatri advises him that he cannot save everyone, so his goal should simply be to save as many people as possible. He reminds Boyd that by shooting Abby, he managed to save Ellis and several others, so he must focus on saving the majority rather than everyone. Then, we see Tabitha arriving at the RV, which is completely covered with Ethan's drawings that Sophia had pasted all over it. Suddenly, the man in yellow appears right behind her. He asks if she knows him, but Tabitha is clueless. He remarks that her memories haven't reached her yet, revealing that he killed her husband exactly where she is standing right now. Grabbing her by the neck, he tells her she has come the closest, as this is the very first time someone is actually going to pull those bones out. He warns her of two possibilities. Removing the bone might send her back to her world, or it could multiply her suffering far beyond her imagination. Finally, he says he missed her very much and just walks away. This completely reveals that the original, previous Jade, the man in yellow, and Tabitha were once deeply connected. And that is exactly where episode 8 ends. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button.